Tesol Webinars 2020. My name is Wook and I'll be your host today. Before we start, can I check if all of you can hear me well? If yes, please tap OK in the chat box. Thanks. So I think we're on good to start. Okay, this free webinar series held by VUS with the participation of ELT experts and invited speakers from well-known publishing houses, such as Oxford University Press, Cambridge, Assessment English, National Geographic Learning, and Macmillan Education. We hope to bring you the most updated and practical teaching methods and techniques so that you can teach your class more effectively, especially during this coronavirus pandemic. So thank you for joining us in today's webinar, Online with Kids, How to Make the Screen Lively, presented by Ms. Winnie Andao and Ms. Chan Kim Thi. Before we start, please be informed that we will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Also, during that time, I'll send you the links for you to complete a survey about this webinar and to download your certificate of participation. And now let me introduce to you Ms. Dao and Ms. Thi. Presenters, please say hello to our audience. Okay, now over to you, Ms. Dao. We can start now.
Yeah, thank you, Wood.
We can start now, Ms. Dao. You can share screen.
Okay. So, sorry, just a moment. Is it? Okay, just a moment. Something wrong with this. Something wrong. Sao mình không thấy mình? Sao mình... Hello? Hello, everybody. Can you see me? Okay. So, this is Polly. Polly is my favorite pet. And she would like to say hello to everybody. Hello. Good morning, everyone. And so, Polly, come here. Would like to say hello to you. And would like to see you are going to do with the poem. Because the poem will start with something like, how are you? Okay. Are you ready to do the poem, everybody? If you are okay, you are ready, type in the chat box. Okay. Hello. So, can we start the poll now? So you can tick the first question. How are you? You can start and tick one. Fine, okay, or excellent, or hungry, or upset, or disappointed. So most of you are excited. Okay, very good. Yeah, not upset. 1 and 2 are upset. I can understand there's some technical issues, and so you need to wait for quite long. But I appreciate. I'm happy that you are not very upset, and most of you are excited. Maybe some of you are hungry. Yeah, some of you are hungry. Sure, because haven't you had any breakfast yet? Or you already have some breakfast, but you are still waiting for the lunch to come? Okay. One or two of you are disappointed. No people are upset. Good. The results are coming. The second question is, who are you? Most of you are, teacher at a language center. Right, some of you work at the primary school, some at secondary school, and some are college teacher. And some of you are others. So maybe you are students, or are you working somewhere else? Are you a manager? Hope some of you are manager like me. All right, and hope some of you are students who are going to be a teacher soon in the future. The third question, what are kids like in your class? And you can choose multiple choices. Yeah, it's good that you think that kids are adorable. Yeah, it's right, they are obedient. They are also disciplined, but not very, because not many of you think they are disciplined. They are smart, sure. They are fearful. Some of you think they are fearful. Mm, yeah, and so most of you don't think they are fearful. That's good. They are talkative. Yeah, they talk a lot. And they are playful. That's good. And finally, they are what? Disruptive. Anyway, they are disruptive because they are talkative and they are not fearful. And so actually they are disruptive sometimes. Okay, that's good. I think, yeah, that seems that you stop responding to the polling. So I will end the polling now. Thank you for your responses. Yeah, you can see the result because I'm sharing the results now. Can you see the result? Okay, we will keep this. This is very good for us to look at this later. Okay, so right, can we start the webinar right now? Yeah, I think that because of some technical issues with my laptop, and so I'm sorry about that, but we can start it right now because we don't have much time left. Okay. So these are the questions to get to know you, and you have done this in the poll. All right, and so this is what we are going to talk to you about today. There are three things, three main contents. Number 3 is my favorite number because according to me, I remember in some science study that people tend to remember mostly three first things or three last things on the list, very long list. And today, usually we talk a lot, but I would like you to remember a lot too. And so I will start with something with number 3. And so the main things we are talking today, there are 3 things about kids and some activities or games. And the last thing is also 3 things to remember. First, we will start with 3 things about kids. Actually, you have done the poll, right? And there are other adjectives to talk about kids, right? But because I said I prefer the number 3 because it's easy for everybody to remember the first 3 things. And so I want you to remember all 3 things. So I'm going to say about 3 things about kids in class. All right? They are adorable, sure. You have nice students in class like this. All right? This is very good. All right? And so you can see, right, they are very motivated and they raise hand with very nice teacher, right? But this is not the case that happen in all the classes. And so sometimes you can find yourself in a class like this. Can you see what happened in the second class? Okay, so you see that the teacher, right, is teaching and at her back, and then the students are doing something else. They are very playful. Maybe because the teacher is not engaging enough. She doesn't have enough engaging activities to get the student involved. And so that's why we think, why? And we will find the result or the resolution. So because the kids, the young learners are easily motivated. Actually, when you are in class, you look beautiful and you prepare the lesson well, you are well dressed and you look so friendly and so beautiful and they adore you. And they're nice to you and they are easily motivated by the teacher. And so they're easily motivated. They will be adorable, they will be obedient, they are very disciplined. But, right, remember one more thing. Look at the picture. This is quite exaggerated, right? This means people, human, all right? Especially kids has short attention span. All right, this is I say exaggerated. Actually, you can keep attention not only 10 seconds, 8 seconds, but according to some science study, I remember for the young learners in a normal class, if you have activity that should not last longer than 10 to 15 minutes, and that will be less in an online class. And so don't have very long activities. And also you don't have games all the time, and so maybe you need various activities to keep them engaged in class. So 3 things about kids we need to remember to deal with them in class: that they are easily motivated, but they have short attention span, and so you need to prepare to get them engaged in various activities in class, especially online classes when they need to stay right in front of the screen. The next part, we are going to suggest some activities or games to use in online classes. I will deal with some of the most thing at the beginning. And right after that, Ms. T will say about that. I would like to say about some activities we are going to suggest during the lesson stages, like attention getters, vocabulary memory check, structure practice, stories, and exit. Actually, these are not the flow of a normal lesson. We are not going to say that for an online lesson, we are going through these stages. I just mean that the suggestion we have here can use in different stages of a lesson. Okay, for example, we are going to suggest something to get attention. All right, and some activities or games for vocabulary memory check. And this vocabulary memory check can be used as a warm-up, all right, for different purposes. For example, a warm-up or practice, control practice, or maybe a consolidation at the end of the lesson. And also the activities for the structure practice, all right, can use as warm-up to review a previous lesson or as practice. All right, after they learn the structure, or that may be something at the end, toward the end of the lesson to consolidate the structure they learn. Or the stories, as some activity or application we recommend here today can be used as a presentation of the lesson or homework. All right, and the exit. We suggest something to do toward the end before you say goodbye, as a way to say goodbye to the student online. Okay, so don't think that these are the stages of the normal lesson. These are just some part of the lesson that we recommend or we suggest some activities or games. For the attention getters, that should be as usual, should be very simple. Yeah, for them. For the teachers also, should be very loud and exciting. I like to do this. I learned this when I did some project at the British Council. I learned from other colleagues. We are learning all our life. And so I like this. The teacher may start with something like, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And the student will say, 1, 2, eyes on you. Okay. For example, Ms. T, can you say, can you be a student? And I will say, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Okay, just like that. And also remember number 3 here, exciting. Exciting. If you say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, it's not exciting. And so you can change your voice, can change your tone and make it more exciting, like 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Okay, more excitement in your voice, all right, with your facial expression, for example, that will get the attention of the student, even right they are somewhere else, not in front of you. Okay, or you can get attention with other things like, okay, maybe a puppet. Do you see the puppet? The Polly? Yeah. Okay, or a tambourine. Or you can have bell. Right, these are loud and that is exciting, especially with the ice cream bell. All right, children like ice cream. And so ice cream bells, all right, call them to the screen. Or you can have the field wheel to start to show something very colorful like this. And also, right, increase interaction with the student. You can start with, say, asking them, how are you? And you look at this, the field wheel, and ask them to type in the chat box to say, I'm sad today, I'm mad, I'm happy. They can chat. All right, they can type in the chat box, and when you read, you express with your face. Ah, you are happy. Oh, why are you so mad? Okay, right. I think that's good enough for me. We're to start with the attention getter, and you are going to have more exciting activities to come. And so Ms. T will talk about some suggestion with the activities and games later. Over to you, T. Sorry.
Hello again, everyone. Okay. So, traditionally, the image of a teacher in Vietnam is associated with the platform and a board. Here on Zoom platform, we also have a whiteboard and we can do as many things we can in a real classroom. So now let's play snake game together. We have two teams. Okay, so let's see who's in the house. Team A, we have Anthony, Lauren, Mala, and Team B, let's see. We have Jason, Paul, Athena. You remember the snake game that we often play in class? So, Team A, please give me one word. It is. Sorry, it was frozen. So team A, please give me one word. So I have orange, okay? So orange. Orange, right. Team B, please give me one word. We have banana, okay, banana. So team A, the next word will start with the last letter of your first word. So it will be, tell me the word that begin with letter E. Yes, so you have eraser, very good. Right, and team B, another word start with A. So that is game. Now, tell me, how do you normally reward your students after a game? Oh, we have stars, we have, let's see, chocolates, yes, candy and stickers. Oh, I love stickers. And here we can also give our students stickers too. So with Class Dojo, we can use to give our students stickers. So Mala, great job. You have 2 stickers. And Anthony, well done, 2 stickers for you. And Lauren, brilliant, 3 stickers. And Paul, very good, 1 sticker, for example. And I'm sure that your students will like the monsters here and also the stickers that you give them. So the snake that comes to the other end of the ball first can win and get the stickers. Yes, there is snake game and Class Dojo. What I want to say is many of the techniques that we have been using successfully in a real classroom can be used here online to make our lessons as engaging as possible. So now we have another activity, binomials, binomial pairs. Normally, we use rhyming pairs and pairs of words like are joined by and or, such as up and down, more or less, sooner or later, take it or leave it. Yes, you are right. So we are going to adapt this a little bit to make a game to review as well as to expand students' vocabulary. So to do this, we will use the whiteboard and the chat box. It depends on the student's level that you may want to use the chat box or just simply let your students shout out the answers. Like Ms. Dow said, a little noise at the beginning of the lesson is necessary to break the ice. So if you just use chat box, use type half of a binomial and your students type the word to complete the pair. You've got to set time limit too, say 10 seconds or 15 seconds, then you can count the answers to see which team has the most answers. Here, please remember that time management is very important, especially when you teach a class of 45 minutes or an hour. Therefore, an activity like this should last roughly 5 minutes. Now let's give this a try. So you type on the whiteboard, love, and you set time, 10 seconds. Now go, everyone please use the chat box. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Love and peace, love and hate. Yes, a lot. Yes, that is how it works. And we can have different versions too. We can try with irregular verbs, synonyms, antonyms, rhyming words. So you can say the verb and your students say simple past or past participle form of the verb. Okay, so certainly the children find it really hard sitting at one fixed place for an hour. When you find them start yawning or start playing with the computer like this or become distracted with things around them. So it's time and do some TPR. So my suggestion here, indoor scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt is a good solution when you find your students start to look bored. So you give a list of several items. The items here are the words that they have learned, and you set a time limit, say 3 minutes, and the children are going to run around the room, run around the house to look for the items. Yes, and who has the most items can win 5 stickers, for example. And please don't forget to ask them to tidy up after the lesson too. Now the next activity, feminism. We often use this game for grammar practice. Let's see how it works. Students choose 2 numbers. Any numbers, 2 numbers. There is a picture underneath each number. The job is for students to make a meaningful sentence about the pictures using a structure that they have just learned. It could be relative clause or present continuous or future would be going to. And yes, students make meaningful sentence about the pictures and teachers gives feedback or correction. What I like about this game is that the students have to think critically in order to make a meaningful sentence with the structure that we want them to use. So let's give it a try. Miss Dow, could you choose 2 numbers, please?
Yeah, I am a student now.
Yes, please.
I'm a student now, huh? So can you, I would like to choose number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 and number 2. Okay. So the structure is be going to. Please make a sentence.
Okay, so the family is going to go to the park this weekend.
The family is going to
Correct.
The park this weekend. Okay, great job, Miss Dow. So you have, oh, sorry. We have pictures underneath each number. So the students are going to make meaningful sentences. Sometimes students have to think very hard in order to find the connection between the 2 pictures and write a meaningful sentence. And it can be fun too. Now, the next one, bookcreator.com. If you attended Miss Dow's session at Tesol conference last year about storytelling, you must remember the technique called theater reading and flip read, which brings to the classroom lively moments with lots of acting and role playing. Now, after lots of laughter and fun, we come to the last stage, is story summary. I have an idea for this and we can set it as homework. Students can work individually to retell the setting, include the characters or the events, but in a very creative way. Now, let's look at this. This book was made by an 11-year-old student.
The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time.
Can you hear me there?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare.
No one can beat me.
No one can beat me. Let's race and find out.
Let's race and find out.
And the race started. The hare was young and fast. The tortoise was old and slow.
I'm so hungry.
The hare was hungry. He stopped for a snack. The tortoise took one step after another. The hare was sleepy, so he took a nap.
I'm so sleepy.
The tortoise took one step after another and passed the hare. When the hare woke up, it was too late.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God! Faster, faster, faster!
Okay, so what do you think? So cool, isn't it? I really love Book Creator. Just easy to use and students can record themselves, insert pictures, videos, can write, can draw. So there's lots of room for them to develop their creativity and we can take advantage of this. So for stories, we can ask students to come up with another ending, or for more challenging, we can give them the setting and they can develop the story. Or we can use it as a writing task as well. For example, usually you ask students to go home and write a paragraph about their favorite holiday or about their family. So with Book Creator, everything becomes more lively. The students can do like this. They go to Book Creator. Yes, they choose new book and they can choose the shape of their book as well. So let's see this one. They can choose the cover. Yes, and they can add text such as my holiday. Yes, and yeah, this is the place for them to show their skills, their arts. So they can choose this. Choose the let's see this one. Okay, and can make it italics. Okay. So go to the next page. Here, the content. So instead of writing a paragraph, your students can here import the pictures, for example. For example, they can choose each and choose, select. Yes, the picture stay here. They can choose their own picture from their computer as well. And here, something else. This is Cook Island. Yes, so have here. Choose the color of the text. Cook Island, okay. And they can also record themselves. Let's see, record, yes. Now, start recording. I had a marvelous holiday here with my family last year. And start recording. Use recording. Yes, and here. I had a marvelous holiday here with my family last year. Okay, so they can add the content to more pages. Yes. Okay, so what do you think? Very nice, very cool. And with Book Creator, everything becomes more lively. Usually, to mark students writing homework, you may have to read about 20 paragraphs, and you may find it boring and time-consuming, energy-consuming. So now your students just publish the book online and give you the link. So you just follow the link and read and just sit and relax. Or you can also ask the book creator to read for you. Let's look at this as an example. So the paragraph is about my family. So you ask book creator to read for you.
My family. There are 3 people in my family. My dad is a doctor. He helps sick people. My mom, Anna, is a teacher. She teaches at a school near my house. It's me, Nick. I'm 8.
In my free time, I like reading books, play chess. Sometimes I play basketball with my friends or go swimming at the pool.
I love mom and dad.
Okay. So the normally tedious job becomes so lively, so eye-catching, and therefore more relaxing, right? And when you have time, please explore more about book creator. I really love this book creator, and I'm sure that you will find it really, really interesting. For stories, there's a wide range of applications that teachers can use to develop students' creativity and critical thinking skill, like storyboard, Flipgrid, and many other useful tools too. Now, I have another one. What are these? Oh, tickets. Yes, they are asset tickets. So you want to make sure when your students leave the class, they have something to bring home. It works like this. Each student chooses one number and answer the question underneath the number. If they can answer the question, they can go home. Oh, they are already home, so never mind. But if all students can answer the questions, it means the teacher has achieved the objective of the lesson and therefore can happily end the meeting, right? So let's give this a try.
Need our help? You need my help?
Yes, Miss Dow, please give me one number.
Number 1 as usual.
Number 1. Please tell me your 2 favorite pets.
My 2 favorite pets are goldfish and a cat.
Well done. Okay, so far we have some activities for warmers, memory check, structure practice, home assignment, and cooler. Now, Ms. Dow will certainly have something more interesting to tell you. Over to you, Ms. Dow.
Thank you, Thi, for your exciting activities and games. So now I would like to share something with you. All right? So the last part of our session today, our presentation today is 3 things to remember. So, can you recognize this? Some of you may recognize this. All right. This is a page from the book we are using at our campuses at the VUS. All right. And so this is what I usually think that people will start the lesson like this. Open your book to page 12. Today, we'll learn lesson 2, camping. Do you like that? Do you think the student will like that? I don't like that. And so, what I suggest is you may forget the flow suggested in the textbook by the publisher or by the book writer. You can start with something like showing this picture to the student for them to guess. So I would like to ask my student, I'd like to show this to my student and ask 3 questions. Okay, so with the eye, that means my question is, what do you see? With the brain, my question is, what do you think? And the last question is, what do you wonder? And so, my student will answer the question with something very simple because they are kids. And so they will answer with very simple answer like, I see. Miss T, what do you see? Okay, are you there, T? Okay, maybe she's not there. And so, attendees, you can type in the chat box.
I see lots of boys and girls.
Okay, Right, Tandy, you can type in the chat box and we can read it later. Okay, so you can see a lot of boys and girls. And what about the men and the woman in blue jacket? Okay, what do you think? And then the answer we say, I think, Miss Kate, what do you think?
I think they are having a camping trip.
You are so smart, right? You are as smart as our learners. Okay. And what do you wonder?
I wonder when Vietnamese students can have the field trips like this.
Okay, maybe I want to look at this, and I myself wonder if they will explore something in the cave. All right, in the cave in the corner. And that may be very exciting to explore the cave during the camping trip. All right, and so my suggestion is to give the student a meaningful context for each lesson they have, even if you have an online class. With the 3 questions, remember this to get them engaged, to allow them to speak, allow them to express their own idea, allow them to develop, to boost their imagination, all right, and logical thinking. Because when you check with the feedback, why do you think so, or why do you wonder, you encourage them to have logical thinking, that express their own idea, all right? And so what do you see? What do you think? And what do you wonder? And give them the meaningful context, give them reason, allow them to be aware of why they need to learn the language, so that in the future, after the lesson, they will use the language in authentic situation. The second thing we need to remember is to check with your lesson flow so that you will have varied activities, all right, to engage them. Because you remember that the students, they have short attention span, and so you need to have varied activities. You can vary the times of the activities and games during a lesson, and make sure that the activities and games are very short, about 5 minutes to 10 minutes only. Vary the time. Maybe you start with some activity, run around, scavenger hunt, or the next one will be write board race, or you have the snake games, or you tell some short story. Yeah, you can vary the content. That means maybe you can use the same type of game, a different lesson with different content. For example, I like the chain game. All right, at this time I like to use a chain game with word chain, and next time that maybe sentence chain, and maybe for the story you have chain story. And vary the purposes. You can use the same some activity with different purposes. For example, you use a game for this lesson, and you use to warm up to review the previous lesson. In another lesson, and you will use it at the end to consolidate the lesson you learned that day. Okay. And the last thing, this is very interesting. I like this a lot. The class tool. I believe that you are a teacher, and all right. And so for the online classes these days, and you use Zoom. And I think that you need to exploit the function on Zoom like polls, right, to increase the interaction between the teacher and the students. And you also use a chat box for other activities and game like Ms. T suggested in the previous part, and also the whiteboard. You can use the class dojo to deliver cue stickers, and also assignment, home assignment as well. I hope you remember the wheel of names that Mr. Stephen Harper mentioned in his previous webinar. I'm not going to talk about this because he had given you an example of using this wheel of name in variations. And also classroom screen. Ms. T, I think that she showed you how to use it, and you can explore this because that's quite new, right? Quite new to us, maybe, and new to you, maybe. Explore it. If you can go to the internet and then you type in Google, or you search for it on YouTube. Okay, and many other virtual tools. The more interesting thing is about do it yourself. I think because sometimes if we have technical issues, if you don't have good internet connection, a Wi-Fi connection, and then what do? You can bring other things that you prepare, that you have used in your normal classes, right on into the online classes, like the flashcard, for example. Can you see this? This? Okay, this is not expensive. All right, some of you can afford. All right, you have enough money to buy flashcard from the publisher, but some are not so rich. Also, have enough money because you need, all right, at this time you need to be very savvy. And so you can download these pictures from coloring pages from the internet, and then you can color it by yourself. And then you put in a lock right back like this, all right? Reusable. Or you can make it plastic. Okay. The plastic case is like this, and then you can put in the picture you made, okay? And then you can change it, you use the plastic case, and you can use it right this way. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yes, and the other side. This is not as expensive as you buy the flashcard from the publisher, right? The publisher may not like this, but right, if you have money to buy the flashcard from the publisher, it's good. Right, they look professional, beautiful. But if you don't, or you want to try to make it your own style, you can do this, okay? Or you can do this. All right, these are reusable, cheap. All right, if you can laminate them, okay. But if you don't, you can use, right, something like this. All right, and you change only the content. Reusable, and you use this for a very long time for different flashcards and different lesson. Okay, so, right, you can have some colorful photos and maps and alphabet chart. You can have some finger and sock puppet. Okay, for example, even with the finger, you can use a marker and draw faces on your finger and talk to the children. Right, like this, or you can use your own sock to make puppets, to make a new you reuse the sock. Okay. You can make some visual tools, hashtag or microphone like this. Right, thank you, Ms. Strang, another TQM of US for this thing, for these beautiful pictures. Or you can use, all right, to make fun reward system with reusable stickers. Look at this. Okay, this is, you can bring the mini board, whiteboard, right? You usually use this, all right, in your normal class, and you print this to your online classes too. You can make the colorful stickers, right? And you stick it here, and you can, right, put the score here, right? I like this. What about you? Do you like it? Okay, or you can use this and you write the markers here. Right, they will like this. And the reusable sticker. I like the idea of reusable thing, reusable teaching aids. Okay, so to wrap up the 3 things to remember, do you remember the 3 things? What is number 1 to remember? Okay, to make it short, ask you a question. Are you sure to provide them meaningful context in the lesson? All right, to make them remember, aware of why they should learn the language. Sometimes the students, why should I learn this and that? All right, I give them a meaningful context and help them to be aware that they are learning this language so that they will use it in the future, right, in life. And ask you yourself, right, about your activities. When you plan the lesson, they varied enough, right, to get them engaged in your activities, or they get bored. And finally, before you go to your online classes, right, come in front of the screen, and then you ask your question, are all of your teaching aids prepared? Ready? So 3 things to remember. Finally, I'd like to give my final thoughts before I end my presentation. Our presentation is work hard, all right? As most of us here are teachers. And when you are here, listen to me, listen to us, you are very dedicated teachers. And so I believe that you are working hard. And so when you work hard, you'll find out a lot of things, okay? And you are willing, you are ready, you are happy to try new things, like new application, new functions of right internet, of applications, of platforms, and even you can try to use the old things in a new way, okay? And when you do that, I believe that you make the difference. You will be an outstanding teacher and not a teacher that will be different from thousands or millions of teachers who are using Zoom right out there, okay? And the student will remember you as a quite different teacher, a unique teacher, right? They remember you very long, okay? So that's the end of our presentation. And so I think Ms. T will take over the question and answer part. And I will join too. Whenever I think that I need to join, I'll be able to answer some questions. And so over to you, Ms. T.
Hello again. I hope that you like some of our suggestions for class activities and would like to try them in your own class. Now, here comes question and answers.
Ms. Matei and Ms. Down. So it comes to the Q&A. You can type your questions in the Q&A button in your Zoom, or you can type your question in the chat box. We try to answer as many as we can. You see, you can see the question in the Q&A. There's a question for Ms. Tay that if the student want to use the book creator, do they need to have the account for that? Ms. Tay? Ms. Tay, did you hear? Can you hear me? Hello, Ms. Tay, can you hear me?
Oh, the question from Helen, do students need to create an account to use Book Creator, right?
Yes.
Yes. Students need an account and teachers need an account too. So you can go to Book Creator and you create the accounts, just like the account that you create for a mailbox. You just get the account and register with your email and password, and then done.
Quite simple, right?
Yes, very simple and very easy.
Yeah. Another question is from Andrew. He said that where can he find the flashcards? Is there any way that he can make the flashcard himself or something? Can you suggest? Have any suggestion?
Flashcards. You can create the flashcards yourself. If you do not afford the physical flashcards from bookshops, you can download the pictures. If you don't want to get it printed out, you can also store the pictures in a folder and you use as the normal flashcards.
Thanks. Okay, another question is about how to motivate your student to speak in class. From an attendee, some students in my class are likely to keep silent all the time, despite the fact that I've motivated them a lot to speak up. Only good response is, I don't know. Any suggestions for these cases?
This normally happens. Students tend to keep silent all the time. So we have to look more closely at this problem, whether the students keep silent because they do not have enough vocabulary to answer the question, or because the topic is not their cup of tea, or because their behavior